Hey guys, in this video I want to go over how to convert from DICOMs into a BIDS folder set. So BIDS stands for Brain Imaging Data Structure. It's basically a standardized folder structure and also file format and naming structure used in neuroimaging analysis. So I believe this comes from a lab from Stanford that has been pushing a lot in the last 2 or 3 years, a standardized pipeline for neuroimaging preprocessing. So I was looking into this because I was interested in trying out fMRI Prep, which is an fMRI preprocessing pipeline that you can customize, but it's basically like freely available online for different labs to use. And so the idea is basically that you input this data folder that has a standardized naming structure for the subfolders and also a specific kind of files with a specific kind of naming structure as well. So in this video, I'm really just going to go over how you convert from DICOMs into the file structures that BIDS uses. And I'll put a link to all of the stuff that I'm looking at online in the description box below. If you go to the official BIDS website, they have a freely available paper that first talks about how BIDS came about and basically what the structure is if you want more information. And I'm specifically just going to be talking about the DICOM conversion like I already said. So in the paper it mentions two different ways to convert the DICOMs to the files that BIDS uses. So BIDS uses NIfTIs, specifically compressed NIfTI. I think it uses NIfTIs or compressed NIfTIs, but we're just going to get, in this case, compressed NIfTIs. And for anyone who knows about neuroimaging, you know that when you're converting from DICOMs to NIfTIs, DICOMs have like header information that sometimes is lost when you're converting to a NIfTI. So if you're doing a pre-processing that needs this header information, which you probably are, basically the BIDS solution to that is you're going to have what's called a JSON sidecar. So every NIfTI or most NIfTIs will have so you'll have the NIfTI file in the folder, and then alongside that you'll have a JSON file alongside that with the same name as the NIfTI. So you see you have subject 1, the compressed NIfTIs, and then diffusion weighted, and you'll have a JSON file. And I'll show you what the JSON file is. It's a type of JavaScript file extension, and if you open it up, it has just a bunch of metadata on it. So it has like a bunch of the header information that you lose when you convert to a NIfTI that you can still use with the NIfTI by reading the JSON file. And the paper mentions two ways to convert from DICOMs to NIfTIs to produce the NIfTI and the JSON sidecar. So you can use the freely available DICOM to NIfTI X, I guess I'll pronounce it. It has an X at the end, so this is an updated version of DICOM to NIfTI. And you can also use a very similarly worded function, DICOM with an I to NIfTI, and this is through MATLAB, but it's also a free program that you can download, and actually both of them are free. So let me show you both ways to convert them. So if you use DICOM to NIfTI X, you can either use that through the command line or through the GUI. So if you download MRI Crow GL, or however you pronounce that, it will have the command line DICOM to NIfTI that you can use, or you can convert DICOMs to NIfTIs just by opening the actual program itself. So I already have that on my computer here, and this will open up this window. And then from here, if you go to import and convert DICOM to NIfTIs, that will open this window. This window gives you a couple options, so you can edit how you want the output files to be named. You need to specify the output folder. And so I already have some DICOMs that I'm going to convert, so let me create a sample output folder that's empty, and that's where I'm going to write all my files. So let me just specify that. And then you have this box for a check mark. I think this is a little bit bugged because the BIDS flag here, the -B, that's actually what writes to BIDS. So I checked this earlier today, and if you check it or not, it will actually still print in BIDS format. I think this is a bug in the code because actually what it's changing is verbose. Here, let me see. Yeah, this code is like a little bit bugged, but anyway, this will change whether it's compressed or not, supposedly, but then I don't know. But either way, if you check that or not, it will actually automatically, for now, it will automatically output in BIDS format. So it will give you the compressed nifties and as well the JSON sidecar, because what it's actually looking at is this B flag. And if it's at yes, then it will do it in BIDS format. So once you have your parameters all set up, then you're going to go up here to the file again and select DICOM to Nifties, and then just find the folder that has your DICOMs. So in my case, I have this sample folder, and this will take about a minute or two. The computer my computer is freezing when it does it, but it will go away in like a minute when it's done. Okay, so that took about a minute, and then when that's done, let's check the output in the output folder, and that now has nifties and it also has JSON sidecars. So let me just open up a sample JSON sidecar so you can see that it has a bunch of metadata. And so some of that tags in the header folder or in the header from the DICOM you won't need when you're pre-processing, but some of them you will. So it just keeps all that information in those JSON files in case you do need some of the information. And now let me show you the other way you can do it using MATLAB. So I already downloaded whatever program folder you needed and I set it in my path already. So if you haven't done that, you do need to add it to your path so that MATLAB can recognize the function. And then after that, the function is called DICOM to Nifty. If you click enter after you type that into the command line, it will open up this GUI. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let me erase my old output folder and create a new empty one. And so this is the input folder that has the DICOMs. This will be my output folder. Compress will either give you a compressed nifty or not, so I'm going to leave that checked. And then here is the option to save JSON files. So if you save the JSON files, then that will be in BIDS format, or if not, you can uncheck it. And then you click Start Conversion. This one doesn't freeze my computer like the other one did, and this will tell you, and also the command line will tell you when it's done. But this says conversion in progress, so it will change when it's done. So once that's done, I'm going to check the output again, and again you have the compressed nifties with a JSON sidecar, and from there I would just manually create the folder structure and the naming structure. So it does want the subjects to be labeled like this, like sub -01, 02, etc. These folder structures, there's like another program called like DICOM to BIDS, I think, that will do all of these steps automatically, including the creation of the folder structure. But I was looking at it and you need to like set up a configuration file or something before you run it. And so I feel like that takes about as much work as just setting up the folders manually. So from there, I think it's kind of like straightforward to create the exact folder structure and naming structure. That was the DICOM conversion is like the main thing I wanted to go over in this video. So yeah, that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.